Namaste everyone, Elle Isaacoff here from elleisaacoff.com. I know it's been a while since I've done a video. It's been quite a busy year. So today you get two gifts from me for the holiday season. You get my favorite yin yoga sequence, which will be this one. And then you also get a 10-15 minute morning practice. This sequence from yin yoga style is my favorite, and it really gets to the front line. And I'll talk more about yin once we get started. But each posture is 5 minutes, so you might need a bolster, a blanket, and blocks or books or whatever it is that you might need. So we're going to start with a pose called dragon pose. So yin yoga has their own little names. Some people like a blanket for their knees, and that's fine. And I do recommend blocks or bolsters or books. And then you're going to step your right foot forward. And I will have a timer because generally yin yoga is no more than 5 minutes. So you're going to set up a dragon pose. You might even want to get a bolster under there, but you want your shoulders right above the blocks. And you want to make sure that the sensation is not too great. So we have somewhere to move towards. And yin yoga is all about getting to the fascia, the muscle ligaments. And even held up trauma will also come out, especially with the hip area. So you're going to connect to your breath. Steady inhalation and your exhalation. And you're going to start to feel that the sensation is going to get grosser and grosser. And we have Shiva visiting us. Maybe even closing your eyes and just being with the sensation. The more we observe the sensation without attaching to it, the more it begins to fade. Attachment is anytime we judge an experience, positive or negative. So just find steadiness, unclench your jaw, soften your eyes, and breathe. Dragon pose. What we tend to do when, it's almost like a fight or flight, when the sensation gets really gross, we tend to react. So yin yoga helps us to find that place where we're able to breathe and stay calm and observe the sensation. Almost halfway there. Stay with your breath. Stay with your breath. If you need to move, that's fine. If it's pain, otherwise try and stay. If you want to go a little deeper, that's also fine. So a little deeper would look like this. Or a little deeper still might go like this. Stay with your breath. Stay with your breath. It's probably going to get quite deep right about now. 3-minute mark is when it gets really where you're trying to stay as non-reactive as possible. Soften your tongue, soften your jaw. One more minute. Stay with it. How's your breath? Steady rhythm of inhalation, exhalation being about the same length. 5 or so more breaths. And we're going to stop. Reset. From here, we're going to move into a pose, a yin yoga posture called swan. We're moving more or less to sleeping swan. Now, one of my favorite variations has been putting a bolster underneath the right thigh, just to get that support. You can also use a block, or you can put some blankets if this is too high. But remember, we're holding it for 5 minutes. You're going to keep the back knee bent. And I personally love to put a block. Now, this might be already too much for some of you. So this bolster might be too much. So you might even want to just use a block or two. A block underneath your right thigh or 2 blankets. So remember, we do not want the sensation to be too intense when we start out. We want somewhere to go towards. So closing your eyes, softening your breath. I like a block. Soften your face, soften your eyes. About 4 minutes for this swan. Maybe even staying up. Stay with it, stay with your breath. The sensation is quite deep here, so that's why you might want something lower than this bolster. Halfway there. We're halfway there. Anything to do with the hips is old stuff, old emotions that haven't been processed, trauma, heartbreak, grief, anything really that hasn't been processed will be there, will be stored in your body. Stay with the breath. About 1 more minute now. 1 more minute. About 5 more breaths. 5 more breaths. slowly coming out. I'm gonna slowly come out. Just move the bolster out of the way, or the blankets or the block, and just have a seat. We're gonna go straight to our next posture, which is a twist. So you're gonna bring your left hand behind your knee and just bring it in front, and then bring the left foot right over top of your right thigh. Now, if this feels too much, you can straighten the right leg, because what we're moving to is a twist. You can either bring bring your left, hug your left knee, or bring your left foot over, and you're gonna bring your left fingers behind you and either hug the left knee or stop sine arm. And then if you wish to bend the bottom knee, just make sure that your hip is grounded. And just keep finding it passive. Gently closing your eyes and breathe. So all twists are also hip openers. So really allowing yourself to let the left hip sink. Soften the shoulders and breathe. You can also hug the knee. How's your breath? How's your breath? This is my favorite sequence because it opens up the mid-body, the hip area, the glutes. So you're going to start to feel sensations come around just over a minute. If it's too much, remember you can straighten your right leg. Even out the breath. Even out the breath. The other thing you can even do is put a block here and have your hand on the block. Halfway there. Just a gentle sensation around, just above the belly button, around your third chakra, your solar plexus, your power center, really. Your third chakra, the color is yellow, and it's our center of transformation. It's how we show up in the world. It controls what we show up in the world. Five or so more breaths. 5 or so more breaths. We're going to be a little bit shorter in the twist. A little bit shorter. And slowly release. After that, I'm just going to stretch out the legs for a second, because the next one is my favorite yin yoga posture, and it's also the deepest. So we're going to stay with the right foot on top. I know we changed it for the twist just because we brought the foot forward from swan. We want to keep the right foot on top. So what you're going to do is you're going to bend your left knee down. To make it easier, you can bring the left foot in, or you can bring it forward to make it more challenging. Now, this is where you might need your block or your blankets. You're going to you can either have your right foot right in front, like so, and just be here. I mean, I'm feeling it. It's quite intense. or you're gonna bring your foot on top. But the non-negotiable is that the foot must be fully flexed. Strong ankle, strong knee. Remember that, because we really want to take care of our knees. And here we go, we're gonna start. And then, where you might need to block is right under there. Gently close your eyes and breathe. You can fold forward, you can sit up tall, but just breathe into the sensation. You're going to feel it around here. It's going to get deep. Stay present with your breath. One of the best ones for the hip. One of the best ones. But what's really important is that your knee, if it's high, put a block there, or keep the right foot in front. Try and meet yourself where you are. It will really, really help your progress. And it'll help your body heal calmly. So there's no trauma, no shock, no reaction from the body. You're nurturing your body back to health. You're nurturing your body back to health. Even out the breath. Soften your eyes and clench your jaw. Halfway there. Halfway there. Just stay present with your breath and stay connected to the sensation. Finding softness, non-attachment, non-reactivity. One more minute. Last couple of breaths. Last couple of breaths. And here we go. We're going to stop. We're halfway there. So let's bring your hands behind you and just feel the flooding through the legs. We're going to start the other side in a second. Just let that. So this is what I'd like you to do. It's a great way to move the chi or the energy. I just want you to shake your legs freely. Don't control. Just feel, close your eyes and just feel the quads freely, or your thighs freely move side to side. Don't control it. Just keep shaking your legs and then stop. And you're going to feel a flood of energy move. All right. halfway there. Let's start the other side. So back to dragon pose on the left side. So remember, we do not want gross sensation or intense sensation right at the beginning. I'm fine with a blanket. Some people like even a bolster or an extra blanket right in front of the knee. And just check in always with the first couple of breaths just to make sure that the sensation is nice and gentle. Nice and gentle. So we gradually deepen. Our body gradually settles in. And then you're probably going to start to also notice the differences between the right side and the left, which is very, very common. I love this sequence because we sit a lot, we walk. So the area around the hip, the internal, external rotators get quite tight. So this sequence is really, really good for that. So this side is actually a little bit gentler for me, so I'm going to bring my blocks down a little. You do not have to. Close your eyes. The closing of the eyes allows us to stay a little bit more embodied in the practice. Allows us to stay more connected to our breath. Deep, steady breath. Deep, steady breath. About 1 minute left. Last couple of breaths here in dragon pose. Well done. Here we go back to swan. So please take care, either the bolster or a block. So I know that my left side's a little bit tighter, so I'm going to choose not to use the bolster because it's a little bit higher. So you can put the block right underneath your thigh. You can put a bolster underneath your forehead. Straighten the leg, the back leg. And here we go. Swan. You can stay upright or you can fold, which is a sleeping swan. If you like the bolster underneath the thigh, you can absolutely do that as well. But you know, I think it's also important to honor the differences between the sides. That way we're nurturing both sides to what they need. And the reason why it was a little bit more challenging on the bolster is that your calf is more parallel to the front of your mat, which makes it a little bit more intense. So this is actually easier because the left foot can move a little bit in. And then just let your forehead go. Close your eyes and breathe. Steady breath. Trying to find stillness. Closing your eyes and staying present. How's your breath? How's your breath? So we're at about halfway mark. So at halfway mark, you may even want to go a little deeper, maybe not. Just check in with yourself. One more minute. Five more breaths here. And then we're done with swan. So we're going to move on to the twist now. We're going to move on to the twist. So you're going to bring your left hip down. You're going to bring your right hand behind your right knee, and you're going to swing the right leg in front, and then straighten your left leg. And then bring the right foot over. So we're going to the twist. You can keep your left leg straight and just hug the knee and then twist, or you can bend the left knee as well. Okay. Hugging the knee or stop sign arm, and then just gently letting the right hip sink. Letting the right hip sink. Closing your eyes and staying present. Staying present means being with the moment-to-moment experience of what's happening in your body. Being present with the sensations. Being present with when you want to react. Awareness is the first step to change. Remember, we're not going to be as long in our twist. We're not going to be as long. Steady breath. Close your eyes. Steady breath. One more minute. And slowly coming out. And here we go. So this is the one you have to be really, really careful with. So this, you can bring the right calf right in front and just have your hands here. I mean, this is plenty, I'm feeling it. Or you can bring the right foot on top, flexing. Oh, sorry, just switch sides, yeah. Bring the, left foot on top, flexing, or you can bring it in front. And you can put a block there if you need it, okay? For this side, I'm actually gonna stay a little bit gentler, but believe me, it really is not gentle. But you wanna make sure that you find a place that's not too deep, that you can stay with. Have your hands in front. If you have your foot on top, fully flexed. If your knee is high, then put a block between the thigh or the knee and the bottom foot. Close your eyes, and then reconnect with your breath. Reconnect with your breath. A lot is going to come here. This is a deep one. There really is no way to get a gentle one for this one. For those of you that feel you can even go further, just have your hands slightly pressing down so your sit bones stay down. Let your head go. Keep your shoulders back. If it's not feeling good to let your head go, you can look slightly forward. For some of you, but remember, we're here for about 4 minutes. For some of you, this is even fine. We have one more pose coming after this. Steady breath. Check in with your sensation. Do you need to adjust either way? A little bit deeper perhaps? Make sure the breath does not react. So your breath will always help you stay connected to your body. Stay embodied within your practice. Over halfway there. Over halfway there. Stay present, non-reactive. Last 5 breaths here. And slowly walk out and bring your hands behind you and stretch out your legs and just shake. Close your eyes and just shake. Don't control. Let the quads freely move. Let your feet freely move. Just don't control. Help you move the chi, the energy. And stop. And be with the flood of energy. I'd like to do one more pose. It's called... So we're going to come down to the forearms. You can keep the blanket here. Actually, even if this bolster was thinner, I would actually use a bolster. But all you're going to do is just going to come up into your forearms. Come up onto your forearms. Gently draw the elbows back, draw the navel up. If you feel your lower back, then you would need a bolster underneath your belly. I'll show you what that looks like, actually. Then you would not need that. You'll get a bolster, maybe it's or a few blankets or a few extra blankets. And you put it just on in your lower belly. The other benefit of having this bolster here is that you're also getting to the belly brain, the second brain. So anxiety is kept in the belly, tension is held in the belly, any of our, held up emotions, and it affects our digestion. So this will also help. And then you can either stay on your forearms or you can go to seal pose. We're only going to be here for a few minutes. So shoulders are down, lifting up your heart. If you feel your lower back, come down to your elbows or move away. This bolster is actually quite thick, so maybe even a few pillows would work a bit better. Close your eyes. Push the mat forward. Just a short one. Deepen your breath. Steady deep breath, where the inhalation and the exhalation are the same length. Halfway there. Breathe where you feel the belly also being stimulated by your prop or the ground. So right now I would feel the belly gently pressing into the bolster as I inhale, and as I exhale, it gently releases. 5 more deep breaths here. Remember, if this is too much, you can even come down to your forearms. Well done. So we're just going to transition to child's pose. So you're going to come on up. You can keep your prop here. You can open up your knees a little bit wider. Forehead on your forearms as your elbows are on the bolster. Just let the belly melt, let your forehead go, and just breathe right into your belly. Just let the belly soften right down. And 5 deep breaths. 1. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Take one hand off and then the other. And then find a comfortable seated position. And that's it. That's my favorite yin yoga sequence. I hope you enjoyed it and happy holidays. Namaste, everyone.